One thing I despised about school in Bay Bridge was the corporal punishment methods used by the teachers. These usually took a rather sadistic nature, with teachers using homemade tools such as braided electric cables, rubber whips, long sticks, blackboard rulers, and wooden blackboard erasers. The teacher I hated the most was Mr. Mbedzi. He was so infamous for his torturous methods that my friends and I decided to nickname him Satan. Big mistake, because he eventually found out about his nickname and surely made us beg for mercy as he beat us senseless. I remember that cruel and fateful day he got us. We were walking home after school, and Mr. Mbedzi was a few meters in front of us as we began chanting and shouting, "Satan! Go home!" Mr. Mbedzi took note and smiled at us as we mocked him and ran past him in our khaki uniforms that resembled the uniforms worn by the former colonial master's army and early explorers. The next day, Mr. Mbedzi decided to make the class wait behind the assembly line as he called us into the classroom one by one. He only called those of us whom he had seen the day before, calling him Satan. The first person to walk in was Cosmos, who as soon as he entered was given a few slaps and whipped with a braided cable. He was then instructed to shut up and pretend nothing had happened as he waited in one corner for the rest of us to be brought in and given a surprise beating. Only one person managed to avoid a beating, or a heavy one to say the least, as he was made to sit the invisible chair. Samson. Samson was the last to walk in, and maybe it was the fact that he had seen us in one corner with teary eyes squirming as we silently signaled to him that Mr. Mbedzi was about to give him a surprise beating. Samson dodged Mr. Mbedzi's cunning move, so he was made to sit the invisible chair. Mr. Mbedzi was rather devious and cruel when it came to his methods of punishment. He would call us into the classroom and pretend to be nice. "Come here, son. Let me talk to you. Come closer." As we believed he was being genuine, we approached him and the next thing we saw were stars from the slaps. He whispered sweet words with bitter intentions in his heart. "You fucking cunt!" was his favorite phrase each time he slapped someone. He had special names for his methods. The slap was called $5, the pinch on the flesh between your thighs was called the scorpion, and the $2 was a repetitive flick to the head from his hardened fingers. The delicious one was his braided whip made from 3 electricity cables with insulated copper wire, a popular whip amongst the male teachers as it always left you swollen on the backside or palm of your hands. You could not really run away to anyone for help, because the belief in most of Zimbabwe was that you spare the rod and you spoil the child. It was a biblical-based proverb or belief system that was based on the notion that if children are not physically punished when they do wrong, then their personal development will suffer. The police were also known for being brutal and corrupt, but as a child I was lucky enough to only be a witness of others being beaten during protests or lootings.